this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So we are here for another one of our mass making sessions. We haven't had one unfortunately for a couple of weeks because it had been bank holiday weekend. And just quickly want to just address that because I did then get a lovely lady commented and said, you know, that's absolutely fine, but can I just ask why that means there's no mass making? So I just want to quickly address that. The reason there was no mass making because of the bank holidays, and I might just do it that if there is a bank holiday coming up, there won't be a mass making that week, is because the bank holiday means it's a 3-day weekend. So it's like Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And it just makes it very tricky to film the mass making videos, you know, on the bank holiday Monday when people are at home. You know, I really love the mass making sessions and I love that we can really relax into it and have a nice time, have a catch up and, you know, just a generally very relaxing time. And if kind of people are at home and it's early on a, you know, bank holiday Monday, which technically, you know, behaves like a Sunday, I just feel kind of pressured and then rushed to not kind of have such a nice, enjoyable, relaxing time. So that's why there was no mass making. Anyway, we are here for mass making session now. So yes, you know, first one in 3 weeks now. So we are up to week number 187, would you believe? So we are doing this week. Now, I've forgotten the exact term that I called them, but I think they were triple fold out pockets. So the triple fold out pockets. Yes, I had forgotten all about these particular pockets. They weren't my idea. And again, when I rewatched the video to remind myself how to make them, on that particular video, I didn't know, or I couldn't remember who I had seen make them then either, I'm afraid. So I do apologise. You know, if you catch this video and this was your idea, I do apologise that I'm not, you know, yeah, kind of thanking you personally. Not intentional. So what are you going to need if you want to make these lovely pockets? You are going to need a selection of papers. Now, I have brought along a selection of papers printed on thicker paper. So this is printed on the the 230 GSM paper. It's presentation paper, and yeah, it's obviously sort of you know, with a bit more kind of thickness than your ordinary paper. And then I have also got that lovely craft card, which again, I think this is also I can't remember whether it's 220 or 250 GSM, but again, it's thicker than your normal paper. You could try these on normal paper. I mean, I just don't think they would be very robust, but completely and utterly up to you, you know, what you try them on. Failing that, you could, of course, use scrapbooking papers. Now, if you are not using double-sided paper, so my papers, I have tried to print most of them double-sided, although it's got to be said, I didn't really pay much attention to what I was putting on the back. So like that, it's not really what I would kind of call complementary colours. So yeah, kind of really, it may just prove fruitless. You know, the fact I've double-sided them, they might not be, you know, necessarily things that I can necessarily use anyway. That being said, the craft card, of course, it's not a problem that it's not double-sided because the back is craft coloured. So when I say, you know, you may want to use double-sided, the reason being is because I personally don't like that stark kind of white on the back. If that doesn't bother you, then that's not a problem. If you're not using double-sided, you could, of course, coffee dye the back of your page, or you could just ink it. So, you know, any of those would be kind of good choices, really. Or, you know, like I say, if you don't mind the white, then that's absolutely fine too. What you will then need is, in addition to that, is your scissors. You may need a paper trimmer if you like to use a paper trimmer when you're cutting things. Personally, I find that, you know, just a nuisance. But yeah, scissors or paper trimmer, and maybe scissors and paper trimmer. And then you're going to need some glue. Now, I always use the Anita's Tacky glue. It's a PVA based glue, but again, use the glue of your choosing. And then you may or may not like to have a bone folder with you. Again, if you don't have a bone folder, you could use like the scissor handles and things like that. So yeah, I think there's kind of like other tools that you can use if you don't have kind of what I'm mentioning here. And then obviously we're going to kind of mass make these, and then at the end I will just decorate one up. So obviously my desk is just a complete and utter tip, so I've got a whole bunch of things that I can put in to decorate. If you want to decorate as you go, you may want to bring some decorating type things like some lace and, you know, what have you. So let's have a look and see how we make these. Now, I have to say, feeling sort of slightly nervous. It's weird, but it's surprising how quickly you get out of things, because I haven't filmed one of these mass making for, you know, a couple of weeks or 3 weeks. I feel really nervous about it. And it's weird because I have done other videos, obviously, in that time. You know, I've been filming every day. But the mass making, because they're kind of a regular slot and I like to follow a similar format every week, yeah, I just feel slightly nervous. But anyway, I've digressed. So let's run through and see what we're doing for these. So I'm taking my A4 sheet, A4. If you are using scrapbook paper, you will need to cut it down to a sort of more manageable size. I'm taking my A4 sheet and I'm folding it in half. Now, I don't think I did it like this in the last video. But like we've talked about before, you know, the reason why I think it's so brilliant doing the reruns is, you know, A, we forget about things. B, we may kind of come up with alternative ways to make them. Not necessarily saying better, but just some ways may suit, you know, some people better than others. So I'm not sure whether I did do this last time, but anyway, this is how I'm going to do them this time. So I'm going to cut it now it's folded. And I always like to cut into the fold. And I have mentioned this lots of times before. The reason why I cut into the fold, if you cut away from the fold, what happens is when you get to the edge, your paper kind of splays out and you get this kind of effect going on, which just means you're going to get a much wonkier fold. If you cut into the fold, it's going to be generally straighter. Obviously, that depends on your cutting. My cutting might not be great today. Anyway, got this funny feeling it's not going to be. But it's not going to splay out at the end, so you haven't got that issue. So there we go. Not great, not particularly straight. I can see already it's kind of as if it had splayed out there. But yeah, it's good enough. So that's all you're going to do for that part. And then what you've got basically is this mechanism where you've got to kind of, you know, fold up. So you would kind of glue this section to the page and then you've got your fold up. And then what we're going to do, we're going to make additional pockets to go onto these two pockets, if that makes sense. So you could at this point use coordinating paper or the same paper, you know, or yeah, kind of completely different really. So I'm just going to have a look and see through the papers that I have brought along and just see what I've got here. So I mean, I did print off, like I said, actually quite a few on this craft card, and that might just be the better thing to use because I didn't really seem to have a great deal of luck printing my other papers double-sided. I've got a, you know, pretty rubbish selection going on. So as you can see, this is one that my printer's mucked up and it didn't quite print to the edge. So this is quite a good way to kind of use up some things like this. So I might just take that. Now, what you want to do is basically have this as your pockets. So I'm going to just cut this down roughly to height. Now, I'm not sure really which is the best way to do this. So I might find that we kind of change how we're doing this as we go along. Actually, I am going to do this like this. So I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to fold it in to the rough size of my pocket like that. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut it down here along this edge. Okay, like that. Now at this point you can decide which way round you want to have your pocket. Do you want to have like your patterned paper or not? I think probably you do, because I think the inside would become your journaling space. However, if you prefer, you could have your journaling space here and obviously, you know, not waste kind of, you know, some of your pattern paper or your journaling space. You could just have plain there and then you'd open it up and you'd have your pretty paper. Yeah, personally, I think it's nicer this way round, but, you know, you kind of do how you think best. So I'm just going to place it there and then all I'm going to do is cut it to the size of the pocket. So I think... just trying to think how to do that with the, yeah, without my paper splaying out that we were just talking about. So, oh gosh, I hate it when I have to do left-handed cutting. Ah, this isn't going to be good. Right, okay. So, yeah, going to put it like that. So, just going to then go in here. and cut my pocket down. Okay. Now, I think you probably want your pockets the same size. So I'm going to go in again with my sheet and cut another pocket. Okay, so that I've got two. Actually, I'm going to do it this way round, like that. Okay. If you use a paper trimmer for this, you know, you'd have to kind of measure. I don't measure, I judge by eye. You know, but if you were using a paper trimmer, you'd have to kind of possibly measure unless you could put the two sheets through together. But that's your pockets basically. And then all you're going to do is attach those onto your pieces of paper. And what I think is quite nice is to have them kind of going opposite ways. So you'd have this one opening this way and that one opening that way. So let's put those down. Now I'm just going to trim this up because it's not particularly straight. So we just trim that across there like that. Okay. Now take your glue and just literally pop it down on three sides. Oops. On three sides. Okay. Like that. Oh dear. Okay, right, got my dry wipe here. It's seen better days, but never mind. So just get my dry wipe and then just go in and glue that down. Oh my goodness. Oh, I don't know what's going on with me, but can you tell? I'm just really nervous and I don't know what that's about, but yeah. Just a crazy situation when you just get nervous about things that you do all the time. And yeah, I don't know why that happens, but sometimes that just does. And I know I've talked about it before, but you know, if I don't film for a few days, when I come back, you know, to filming, I feel nervous. But that's not the case here. This is just because it's a mass making and I haven't done that for a while. Anyway, it's because I really want to have a nice time, you know, so they're very important, you know, they feel like they're very important to me. So I think that's why they become kind of a big deal. And then, you know, you put pressure on yourself. Anyway, so that's that one. And then we open it up and in here, we're going to have this. Okay, so exactly the same. You're just gluing down on the three sides. Okay, like that. Oh, like that. Oh dear. Okay, like that. Okie dokie. Now I'm just going to squish that down with my dry wipe. Now, as you can see, I've got a little bit of tidying up to do because I didn't really cut mine, you know, perfect with the edges. So I will go in and trim those now. I would rather trim them than measure them, you know, but obviously we all have our own ways of doing things. And if you're somebody who's good with measuring and being quite accurate, then you probably don't need to do this stage. But for me, I'm rubbish at accuracy with measuring. So I'm better to go in and trim like this. Okay. So I just literally turn it over where I can see that little bit of overhang. And I just trim that down like that. That's it. That's all there are to those. So aren't they just the most gorgeous pockets? So then all that you would do if you were using this in a journal, you would glue it on three sides and then you'd have your side loading pocket. You'd have journal space here, a top loading pocket there. Open it up. You'd have journal space in here and a top loading pocket in there. And I had completely forgotten about these, like I say, but aren't they just gorgeous? I absolutely love them. So I'm going to put that to one side. Let's do another one. And because I've kind of like, you know, dwelled on this a bit on the long side, we will run another one through together before we kind of relax and, you know, just have a nice time. So let me just see whether I've got a paper that's going to kind of work. Right, so I'm going to use this one. Okay. So this is my Melrose Garden. I haven't used this for a really long time, but it's such a pretty paper and I think it works quite nicely with the damask papers. So take that, fold that in, And then again, just cut it down roughly the width that you want it. So I'm going to just cut it down like that. Okay. I just fancied using some different papers, and I thought, oh, I've not used this for a long time. So we've got that. Opening it up, and we've got the beautiful damask inside. Just deciding which way round I would want that. Maybe that side. Now I'm wondering whether I might like to have this as my pockets. I'm not sure how well this is going to go with the pink damask. Well, weirdly, I actually think it goes quite well. I wonder if you guys are watching thinking, what is she talking about? That does not go well at all. Yeah, I quite like it. I think it matches quite well. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to use this up. Now, I'm wondering whether I can get 2 pockets from this. They're not going to be very deep, but I don't think that really matters. I'm just going to check unless I did have the pockets from this. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, I could have it like that, but then... Okay, right. So, yeah, I'm going to do this. So, and this is where now I'm thinking, actually, you're better off not having double-sided paper at all. Right, let me cut this down. Roughly here. Okay. Right, now my pockets are probably not going to be the same size because I'm not going to be able to judge that, you know, quite perfectly, but just going to cut them, you know, where I think roughly looks good enough. Okay, like that. Okie dokie. So we're going to have, yeah, 1 pocket here, 1 on the inside. I'm still deciding which way round I want the pockets, or which way round I want the paper. So I think like this. Looks very, very vintage, quite regal actually, I think. So again, just going to glue this down. Like that. Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, maybe I would have been better with something a bit less, you know, in your face, really, rather than that, you know, bright damask, or the rich damask on the inside. Because I'd forgotten all about these, you know, and I obviously didn't pay much attention even to my own video, and I've talked about this recently, how I'm just abysmal at following instructions. Can't even follow my own, obviously. Yeah, so I've failed miserably, and yeah, printed off kind of really quite leery prints, you know, and actually it would have been better probably to have a paler inside. So something very neutral inside. So don't make the mistake that I've had. So yeah, to clarify, just in case this is all lost in translation because I've been waffling so much, what you will need is you will want some patterned paper, double-sided with something neutrally and pale on the inside. So this is quite an in-your-face pattern. You probably will want something more neutral on the inside because obviously that's going to be your journaling space. And obviously, you know, having that dark, rich damask, it's quite, you know, it's going to be difficult to journal over that. So, yeah, just kind of a takeaway there is double-sided, but, you know, if you can't coffee dye your paper or you don't feel like coffee dyeing your paper, just double-side it with something quite pale on the inside. That being said, I mean, I think that looks quite nice still. So we've got obviously journaling space there, we've got the top loading pocket, and then you open it up and you've got beautiful inside, and then journaling space here, and again a top loading pocket. So yeah, I think it's worked okay. I mean, I guess, you know, it just depends how you want to kind of use them really, but I think it's worked okay. So yeah, aren't they just gorgeous though? Really do love them. I might have to actually sit on these, put them under my leg, because this craft paper, because it's, you know, it's quite porous. So I think the glue soaks in quite well into it, and it doesn't then necessarily, you know, have a lot of glue sat on the surface for actually gluing it, if that makes sense. So right, now the alternative thing that I did think, and I'm not sure whether we did this in the previous video, but I just want to kind of just mention this before we kind of relax and have a kind of, you know, just getting back into it. So I'm going to pick one of the papers that are double-sided with something very clashy on the back, because, you know, they might be wasted anyway. So let's use, yeah, should we use this? Yeah, let's use this. So I'm just going to fold this over. And what I thought, and this is slightly kind of, you know, different concept, but what I thought would be rather nice is to have, you know, the same pocket, but have it hung over a page. And like I said, I don't know whether I did mention this in the previous video, because I didn't obviously watch the whole of the video. But if I didn't, I thought these would be really nice. So taking that like that, okay. And then let's just pretend that this is your journal page, okay, like that. And then what you would do is you would have this, you know, if this was a single page, for example, you would have this glued on. Well, to be fair, you could either have it glued on just one side. So you'd have it glued down here, like that, with your pocket on here, like that. And then on the other side, it could be flapping, you know, with your pocket. Or you could glue them both down and have your pockets. So just going to kind of, you know, decorate the pocket, or, you know, make the pockets, and then it will hopefully, again, make more sense. And I do apologise. This video, I feel, is disastrous. So, yeah, I really do apologise for this. I don't know quite why it's turning out so bad. I think because I got myself nervous about it, it's now actually going even worse than I'd expected. Now, do we want to have the blue? I mean, I'm not sure that that really goes that brilliantly, so I'm not going to actually. Let me see what else I've got here. I mean, that's not too bad with that. What about that? That's not too great, is it, with that? Let me just see. Oh, it's not too great with that either. So, oh gosh. This is why the craft card is so brilliant, because that does go pretty nicely with most things. You know, I think you can kind of get away with the craft card with most things. And I love that it's, you know, coloured on the inside, because then, of course, you don't have to then coffee dye it. So, yeah, let's just use a craft card. Now, which colour? I mean, to be honest, they look quite different, don't they? You know, those colours kind of do alter the look of the finished piece quite a lot. Oh, let's go for this, shall we? Right, we're going to go for this. So, again, just going to take this and I'm going to fold it in like that, okay? And then I'm just going to trim this down here along the edge. Okay. And then we're just going to fold that out. And then we're going to make our pockets. So one that side and then one on that side. So, and again, just like the other one, I'm not going to kind of waste time measuring this or anything. I'm just going to kind of judge by eye roughly how big I would like them to be. So I think kind of about there. And then I'm just going to take it in. Oops, take it here. Like that. Cut that down. And then use that one as a template for the next one. Okay. I mean, to be honest, you know, I'm saying use it as a template. They don't even need to be the same size pockets. You know, if you wanted to have, like, for example, you know, this, let's say, big pocket here, and then a much smaller pocket here, that would be fine. But we're not doing that. I've just remembered. We are doing this. So completely different concept, because this is going to be glued over page. Okay, so I'm going to, for the purposes of this video, I'm going to stick with the same size pockets. So I'm just going to take this down. Yeah, just going to take this one down like that. Okie dokie. So we pop one on here like that. Can just take my wipe. Okay, and then we just glue that one down like that. And then the other one we are putting here on the other side like that. So again, just glue this down. Just checking actually. Yeah, glue this down. Like that. Okie dokie. Like that. Okay, right. We will just glue that down like that. Okay, right. Now I'm going to do a little bit of trimming, and then I'm just going to kind of show you this like as if it were, you know, in a journal, so that you can see what I mean, because obviously I'm aware that I have waffled on a little bit. So, you know, it's possibly, the idea has possibly got lost now in the translation. So trim your pocket and trim your pocket here like that. Okay, right. And then what I was meaning is take your journal page, so pretend this is a journal page, and this would be glued on at the top. So basically you have made a, you know, a top hanging double pocket. So you would glue it down on 3 sides here. So you'd have your side loading pocket, then you'd have a little opening and your pocket here. And then on the other side, you know, we did talk about, obviously you could have one side opening. Again, I wouldn't do that now with this because, you know, I'm not very keen on my combination of papers together. So I would therefore glue this on 3 sides, and then you've got a side loading pocket, you've got your opening, and then you've got your pocket there. So I actually think I prefer those, to be honest. You know, I don't know about you guys, but yeah, I think I actually like those even better. You know, I love the fact that you've done 2 pages in one go. So yeah, let me know what you think below, which one that you like the best. Oh my goodness, I'm just having a look at the time. It's 27 minutes, would you believe? Oh, sorry, I have done so much waffling. Right, let me just now pop that under my leg with the others. Right, let's try and just make a couple of these quickly. So okay, so if I'm making one with my, you know, craft coloured paper, I don't have to worry quite so much about my paper choices. So this one I'm going to make as one for going onto a page, and then I'm going to make one with my pour paper choices, I think, to be glued over the top of a page that we just kind of, you know, talked about just now. Because I just think that is such a nice concept. I really, really, really love it. I think it's, yeah, would work really, really well. Now, I'm just going to see whether I could get away with this. What do we think? Could we get away with this one? I'm not sure, to be honest. Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe not, to be honest. Let me have a look and see what other paper I have got. I was going to say, I'm sure I had double-sided more than just that. Oh, I don't know. See, I'm not even mass making assembly line now. Yeah, I'm totally all over the place. I'm so sorry. This is just turning into a disaster. So this one, I'm going to use the other side now. So I'm going to do this, the other side, so that we've just got a different look, obviously, to the other one. So I'm going to trim it down so that it's, you know, a bit sort of more the size I want it to be. So yeah, I'm going to try and assembly line a couple now, because otherwise, you know, I feel like we're not going to get anywhere in this video because I'm just so all over the place. So I'm so sorry. Okay, Right, so let's just have a relax now, have a nice time and do some mass making. So I hope that you guys are all doing brilliantly. I hope you've all had a fantastic couple of weeks. Obviously, like I say, you know, I have been uploading videos still every day, but they have been, you know, not mass making ones. So again, any that I don't like the colour combinations that I've used, I'm just going to do them as the top loading. Excuse me, the over the page pockets. So yeah, I should do those, I think. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so I'm so sorry that I'm so scatty today. I don't know what's going on. Oh, I'm so sorry, and now I'm sneezing. I'm struggling a little bit, I'll be honest. I'm having a bit of a stressful time, so, you know, I do apologise, and I'm not making excuses at all. You know, and I appreciate that this is probably really frustrating to watch. But, yeah, I think that's probably kind of what's going on here, is I'm feeling a bit stressed. But, yeah, I do apologise. So, hopefully normal service will resume next week, but, oh, not good. Right, let's bring in that craft card, because this craft card does kind of pretty much go and complement most of it, doesn't it? So she says as then she struggles to make it look good. Oh, but these, that's fine actually, because they don't have to be, you know, they're not going to be visible what's on the inside, are they? So yeah. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. This is just crazy behaviour. I don't know, you know, like I say, what's going on, why I'm so scatty and awful. And all I can do is just really apologise. So, yeah, I'm so sorry. You know, I am aware that this is completely nonsense, really. So, yeah, I'm really sorry. Possibly the worst video I've ever done, so... Right, let's just get chatting. Hopefully that will kind of distract everybody. So I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who has purchased anything from my online shop. Well, either of my online shops, my Etsy shop or my website, shabbydabbydoodah.co.uk. The Etsy shop obviously is carrying digis at the moment, and not any of the, what do you call them? Not any physical items. But yeah, a massive thank you to anybody who's purchased anything. You know, I can't tell you how grateful I am for your support, and it just really does mean so much. So thank you so much. Actually, that's brilliant on there, isn't it? So yeah, thank you so much. And very excited because my sister and I have been working super hard doing a massive restock. So yes, I shall be doing that later on this week. And, you know, that's possibly, again, why I'm a little bit distracted today, because I've been kind of busy doing that. So, yeah, but anyway, so we're going to be doing a massive restock. So I will try and do a video for the restock. I mean, obviously it depends, you know, whether it's needed really, because, you know, maybe people will have been on there and, you know, and a video won't be required. But if it is, then of course I will do, you know, I will do a restock video. Right, I need to trim this pocket down slightly because it's a little bit wide for that pocket. Which way I trimmed this paper, I think here. I don't know which day I will be putting those things in the shop. I've got a few things that I'm sort of just partially made that I haven't quite finished yet, but I've put, or, you know, yeah, hopefully kind of a lot of different products that we've not had before. And I know that I did talk about, you know, I'm very keen to try and put a whole bunch of different things in there as often as I can, you know, make it a really interesting place to go and shop and have a look around. So hopefully there's going to be some lovely things. So I'm going to be putting in some more things like the lace clusters and things like that. Some of the things that we've had in there before that, touch wood, you know, seem to have been well received and that people have liked. So I'm going to be restocking a few of those kind of things. and also going to be putting some other things in that I have not ever listed before. So hopefully, you know, there's going to be a nice kind of combination of things that we have seen before and things that you haven't seen before. But one of the other things that are going to be in there, I have a lot of requests for printed pages, you know, printed papers. And it's very difficult to do prints on, you know, on request really, because to be honest, you know, the printer, it's, you know, hit and miss. Sometimes it jams and things like that. And, you know, sometimes I'm kind of like obviously needing to use it for, you know, for printing for videos and things. So it's tricky to do the printing on request. So what I have done is, again, been printing like, you know, crazy over the last couple of weeks. And I have put together, well, my sister's kindly put together for us. You know, I've printed them off and she's then put together. They haven't been bound yet, but we're hopefully going to bind them into like sort of book form. And I think they're going to be 30 pages. Now, they're going to be completely random pages. So they may include some of the collections kits, but they're not going to be limited to that. They're going to be a whole bunch of different ones. And every single pack is going to be unique and different. So yeah, hopefully they're going to be really, really fun and really, really interesting. So, you know, if you are kind of like interested in those, they will be one of the items that will be being listed. You know, so hopefully you would really kind of like those. Just trying to think what else is going to go in there. Oh, I can't remember, to be honest. But yeah, lots and lots of very different things that we have not done before. So I'm really hoping that there's going to be a lot of, you know, interesting stuff, completely different to anything that, you know, that I've seen perhaps in other shops, you know, both in the flesh or online. So, I mean, hopefully there's going to be a lot of different products that, you know, maybe you guys will not have seen before. So, yeah, hopefully going to be a lot of fun stuff. So keep your eyes peeled. Like I say, I've just got to kind of finish off a few things, and then obviously photograph them and list them and things. So yeah, it will be coming later on this week, but hopefully not too late. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled. I'm very, very, very excited by the things that we're going to put in there this week, I must say. You know, I think they're the nicest things. You know, the nicest batch of things that we've done. Who knows, you may not think that, but yeah, hopefully you will really like the stuff that's going in there. So yeah, but thank you so much to everybody who has placed an order so far. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I hope to goodness that you really have loved everything that you've received. You know, and I know that I did mention it on the video where I said that Natalie was going to be working with me, and you know, obviously she is new to this and she's just getting to grips to it, you know, with it. So yeah, please bear with us, you know, if there's any kind of, I don't know, issues with anything. I know that the lovely Margaret, she had placed an order and Natalie hadn't realised, and obviously neither had I, that she had actually messaged to say, you know, she had a particular request. And unfortunately, you know, because Natalie actually was, you know, really like on the ball and very efficient with her posting, so way quicker than I kind of was previously, she had already posted the item out. And so yeah, unfortunately, you know, that request kind of wasn't fulfilled. And yeah, just really apologies for anything like that. They're just kind of teething problems, and you know, hopefully, like I say, we'll get better as we go on. But you know, it is kind of tricky, isn't it? So when you start something new, you know, but yeah, hopefully we'll kind of improve all the time. But thank you so much for everyone's patience. Thank you so much for, you know, for your support, as I say. And thank you so much to everyone who also has still been ordering my digis. And obviously, you know, they're all still there on Etsy. So yeah, I do appreciate it. And thank you so much to all those lovely people who take the time to comment on videos. I know I've talked about it before, but it does make a massive difference, because, you know, it's the difference between your videos kind of getting picked up by YouTube and, you know, getting kind of seen in search results or not, basically. So yeah, really does make a difference, as does like a thumbs up or anything, because, you know, I don't expect people to comment all the time. Of course, you know, everyone's busy with their lives and things. So, you know, but there's lots of people who comment regularly, and I just want to say thank you so much. And I really feel like I know you guys, you know, but equally, you know, of course, life's busy sometimes, and please don't ever feel that you need to apologise because you haven't been watching or anything, because, you know, that's absolutely fine. You know, life is like that, isn't it? I just want to kind of mention, actually, a very close friend of mine, lovely Gary, who I met him at the gym a couple of years ago. Became very, very good friends, you know, just friends. And yeah, he's 57 and, you know, obviously goes to the gym all the time, you know, very fit, kind of, you know, takes his health seriously. He doesn't overeat, he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, nothing like that, you know. Very fit, goes to the gym every single day. So I see him there every day, you know, and like I say, we've, you know, really become great mates. You know, one of those people that you just think they're going to be in your life forever. You know, you really hope they're going to be in your life forever because, you know, you've kind of really developed this brilliant friendship. Oh, he had a massive heart attack completely out of the blue. Yeah, completely out of the blue. And it's 3 weeks ago tomorrow. So when this video goes out, it will be 3 weeks today, if you see what I mean. Yeah, but today as I'm filming this, it's 3 weeks tomorrow since he had the massive heart attack. Now, he's been with his girlfriend for about 6 months, and luckily she was there in his flat with him. And she gave him CPR, which, I mean, that must have been terrifying for her, and wow, exhausting and just awful and traumatic, you know. However, the paramedics came in, they had to defibrillate him 3 times. Anyway, to cut a long story short, he's been, you know, on life support since then, and like I say, it's 3 weeks tomorrow. So very, 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 very sad news. So, you know, oh, please, you know, send all your prayers up for him, you know, if you're kind of that way inclined. Yeah, I mean, he's unfortunately not woken up at all since then, which, of course, you know, is very, very, very worrying. Yeah, it's just so shocking, to be honest. I mean, there's obviously a bunch of us who kind of, you know, see each other at the gym. And, you know, oh, I mean, they had all known Gary for a lot longer than I had, you know, because I have only known him since that new gym has opened, whereas they all kind of went to a gym previously and knew one another from there. But, oh my goodness, just so shocking. So, yeah, that's kind of been, you know, very kind of upsetting for everybody, you know. And like I say, I mean, how awful for his poor girlfriend, you know, because that must have been such a horrible responsibility that she must have felt that night to have to do that. So yeah, anyway, just we're all just keeping our fingers crossed for him, and of course, you know, just constantly thinking of him, and, you know, hoping that he's going to pull through. But like I say, it's unfortunately not looking, you know, very hopeful now, because 3 weeks is quite a long time, isn't it? You know, and like I say, he's actually not woken up, not once since then. And he's off the sedation now. So, you know, technically he should be, you know, he should be awake now, conscious. You know, even though his heart's weak, and possibly he would still have to be on the, you know, the machine that's kind of pumping his heart. I mean, he kind of should be, you know, come around kind of thing. But yeah, unfortunately he has not. So it's very, very, very worrying. And, you know, like I say, very shocking, because, you know, he was such a fit man, and, you know, constantly kind of at the gym and very conscious of, you know, everything he ate, and, you know, oh, it's just shocking. And I mean, 57 is not any age really, is it? So yeah, anyway, so that's pretty sad news, isn't it? Anyway, on on a brighter note. So little Bo, oh, she's still doing well. Although I have to say, she's not been too well either. In fact, she was sick just before I did the video. So yeah, it's a bit of a kind of weird time at the moment. But anyway, never mind, you know. I hope that all of you guys are doing well. I'm so sorry, I've now made it very depressing on the video. So on a brighter note, let's cheer things up. I just watched this morning a video from Kerry the Crafter. It was his video where he kind of did like the collaboration with Gail Agostinelli, and obviously they're kind of great friends, you know, and developed this lovely friendship. And you know, they both respect each other's work very, you know, sort of very much. And yeah, he did this brilliant video, and it was so insightful and interesting because he talked all about his life, and oh, he'd, you know, wow, had a very interesting and varied kind of career. I mean, I won't tell you all because obviously, you know, if you've not watched it, I don't want to kind of spoil it. But yeah, he was a professional dancer, which, wow, I mean, that's incredible, isn't it? So yeah, he's had a very kind of varied career path. Right, you can see I've mucked this up at the bottom. Again, I'm not too worried because this is going to be one that hooks over the page. So the fact that they're no longer completely in line, you know, I don't think is kind of too much of an issue, to be honest. But yeah, again, just evidence of what a shoddy crafter I'm being today. Right, let's pull them back out now that I have been kind of squishing down under my leg. Right, how many have we made? Not many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Well, that's not too bad. So let's decorate one of these up. And yeah, I'm not sure which one to decorate. So let me just have a quick scour on the desk and see what stuff I've got laying around here that I'm going to use to decorate. Because that will obviously, you know, possibly affect my decision of which paper I'm going to use. Or which pocket I'm going to use. So let's just have a look. What have I got here? Oh, the dog's just come in the room. Bless her. Yeah, she's not feeling herself today. She's a bit poorly, to be honest. So it's so sad, isn't it, when dogs are ill? They're, you know, you just love them so much. And yeah, kind of breaks your heart, doesn't it, when they're not feeling too good. Right, these are some of my ephemera pieces. So perhaps we will take some of these and use some of these, just because I'm not sure what else I've really got laying about here. Oh, my desk is just awful at the moment. I mean, it's, you know, it's often awful, but yeah, it seems to be even worse than ever. Oh, I've got some other ephemera pieces, which these are smaller actually, so I think these will work a bit better. So these are my ephemera. I think it's set 5, and I've printed them 2 to a page. So these are much smaller size. So I think these are going to just be better for this particular pocket. So let's just have a look and see. Yeah, okay, right. Okie dokie. So which pocket am I going to do? Should we just do this one and use this? Or that one? Okay, right, let's take this. I'm just going to take this one down. Okie dokie. Right, let's just take these. Okay. Oh, we had such good weather at the weekend. It was a beautiful day on Saturday in particular. Yesterday was okay. It was, yeah, it was okay. I mean, I finally managed to take my tights off, which is a miracle. It felt like I was never going to take my tights off this year. It's been pretty chilly. Still got them off today, wearing a summer dress with a cardigan, although I have to be honest, I just went round to the school and was freezing. So yeah, probably could do with actually having my winter clothes on again today, but it's been sort of changeable today, you know, kind of bright one minute and you know, not so bright the next minute. But yeah, it's one of those weird days. I'm going to put them on this. Don't they look absolutely gorgeous on there? They look beautiful, don't they? So yeah, let's take those, and then in the background, thinking maybe kind of mix them with something from here. So let's take this one. Okay. There we go. Right. Okay. So yeah, isn't that gorgeous? Now, is this one of the over the page ones or not? Yeah, I couldn't remember. So this was one of the ones that we're going to be putting over the page. So from that perspective, they don't really even have to kind of contain the same things, to be honest, you know, but I mean, it perhaps is helpful if they do, but, or just similar colours. I mean, don't they look gorgeous like that? So I've just got some lace. I'm just going to pick some lace up. It's just on the floor beside me. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Oh, why is my room so messy? Yeah, so I had a lovely message from somebody the other day who said, am I going to start the Tidy Fridays again soon? Because she loved them. And I did laugh and said, yes, I could do with them. So, yeah, who knows? Maybe we will resurrect the Tidy Fridays. Oh, my goodness. How much do you love the look of that? Doesn't that look gorgeous? Oh, absolutely love how that looks. Right. So let's just ink around this. I mean, I don't know as this really needs inking, but yeah, let's just ink it anyway. So there we go. Right. Okay. So I'm going to pop that into there, kind of glued down. So just going to glue this down with my tacky glue. Oh, wow. I can't believe how nice that looks. Or looked before I had moved it. But yeah, hopefully it will look good once it's done. So, yep. Okay, right. That one. And then this one here, I'm just going to quickly ink around that. Because now I've inked one, I feel like I now need to ink, you know, everything. Oh my goodness. This looks so gorgeous. Absolutely love it. And then this lace, so this one's one of those laces with a, you know, with a curly edge to it. So I'm just going to trim that down, and then I'm just going to cut that scallopy edge off. Just because, you know, when you're using these, they look then very uneven because they're obviously, you know, it's not long enough to kind of do the whole pattern of the scallops. So yeah, I think it will be better cut down like that. There we go. Oops. Oh, I've had to order myself a new handbag from Amazon. I mean, oh my goodness, what's my life coming to? That's where I now shop for everything, including even handbags. Honestly, but there's no shops really left, to be honest. I mean, I couldn't think of anything I would less want to do than go shopping, but you know, there's no shops now because they've all just closed down, to be honest. So, you know, where do you get things like, you know, if you need a new handbag? So anyway, I've ordered one from Amazon. Hopefully it's arriving today. So we shall see what that, you know, pans out like. I don't know what that will be like. But my handbag is, it's come to the point where it's like so damaged. You know, like inside lots of the compartments, the lining has all kind of torn. So, oh my goodness, you just can't find anything. And, you know, if ever I'm like driving or anything, and I say to the kids, oh, can you grab my, you know, I don't know, could you grab me my lipstick, or, you know, could you grab my sunglasses, please? Oh, my goodness, they cannot find anything. Because what's happened is it's all kind of dropped through the lining where it's ripped. And it's now floating around on the inside of the lining. And they're just like, Mum, get a new bag. What's wrong with you? So, yeah, I've succumbed and I have now ordered one from Amazon. So, oh gosh, I hope it's going to be a good bag. I mean, it's hard to say with handbags, isn't it? I actually find it's hard to say until you actually use them. So, unfortunately, over the time, I've ended up, you know, over the years, the amount of times that I've bought handbags and then it's not until you literally come to use them, i.e., you know, out. And then, of course, they're not, oh, my hot glue's not plugged in now. They're not you know, they're not working as you'd hoped. Because it's only when you're like, say, paying for something in a shop and got to find your purse in a rush that then you're like, oh, I can't now get to my purse quick enough, you know. But until you're in that scenario in the shop, you know, that doesn't become apparent. So, yeah, it's one of those types of things that it's just very much hope for the best when you buy a handbag. But anyway, anything's got to be better than the handbag I've got currently. So, oh, hello. It's just the dog. So, yeah. Right, okay. Let's just pop that down there. Like that. Now, I wasn't going to have these flowers, but to be honest, they do look gorgeous, don't they? But what I might do is ink them slightly. Now, these are some floral trims. They're actually different to the floral trims I've had in my shop previously. And I do have the floral trim packs with the bling and all of that. There's a few in there at the moment. So if you were looking for the trim packs, you know, the usual ones, they're in there. But I will be doing things like these soon. It's just a case of, again, working out how to put things together in a nice way for, you know, for you guys. So, yeah, I've got all sorts of plans for products in the shop. So, yeah, it's just a case of time, really. Honestly, sometimes I just think, oh, don't you just wish that you could just not sleep at all, you know, and just be crafting and doing things constantly? It would be so much nicer, wouldn't it? Right, there we go. Oh my goodness, I love that pocket so much. So obviously we've got this side also to decorate. So, right, let me just kind of keep this in view because I want to have similar-ish bits if I possibly can. So, yeah, let's just have a quick look and see. I mean, this is similar-ish. That one's quite similar, and so are these. So, yeah, let's take this section. Okay. Now, the only thing is, these are obviously not going to fit on that pocket, are they? Hadn't really thought that one through, had I? We've got that, but it's a little bit red. Let me see what else I've got. Hang on. I mean, this one's quite good, actually. So let's take this one. Because, I mean, it doesn't have to be, you know, looking quite the same, does it? It's just going to be, like, similar. So then I'm thinking, I wonder if I could just take this smaller. So, like that. Okay. Like that. Okie dokie. Like that. Right, okay. So then I'm just going to, yeah, take this one. I mean, this is quite narrow, to be honest, so I hope it's not going to look too narrow, but hopefully it will look okay. Oh, and my son and I, we went to see a film at the cinema. Honestly, I know I talked recently about there's not anything on at the cinema, and there hasn't been for weeks and weeks and weeks. It's so boring. Anyway, finally, they've put some other things on. So we went to see a film called Love Again. It was, I couldn't tell you who was in it, people I had never seen before, and this brings me back to, you know, a couple of weeks ago where we were saying, what's happened to all those A-listers? You never see them anymore, and yeah, still the same, never see them. Anyway, but the people in it, you know, they were, you know, pretty good. They played the parts really nicely, and the girl in it was so beautiful, I have to say. She was such a pretty girl. She looked like she could have been like, maybe, I don't know, Lebanese or something like that. I mean, again, I'm probably just showing my ignorance and probably not Lebanese at all. But yeah, anyway, definitely, you know, she kind of had that beautiful colour, you know, skin and beautiful eyes. And, oh, just stunning, I have to say. Yeah, so such a good film. The first kind of half an hour, you know when films almost feel a bit like they're trying too hard? It was a bit like that, and I thought, oh, this is going to be awful. You know, we've waited all this time for a movie to finally come on, and now we're here. It's going to be awful. Anyway, it then got really good, and yeah, we left, you know, after the film, and we both said, oh, what a brilliant movie. You know, you left feeling like, oh, what a nice film that was. So yeah, it was really, really nice to finally be able to go and see something. You know, after all these months of just nothing coming out at all. It's, you know, just been so dull. Right, so I'm wondering if I could do something like that on this side. I mean, for me, I feel a bit weird where it's not kind of matching, you know, brilliantly. But I think that's just, yeah, my weird hang-ups, to be honest, you know. Probably, you know, it probably is matching fine. But, yeah, I feel a bit like, oh, that's not really the best match. But I think it looks okay. Anyway, Love Again was what it was called. Very good. Very, very good film. Oh, and the other day, I started watching something on the BBC iPlayer. I watched it on my own. It was called The Magpie Murders. So it was very much like a whodunit type thing. Perhaps that's better, actually, like this. Like a sort of Agatha Christie, but sort of modern day Agatha Christie. And it had that lovely lady who's in Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. Oh, again, what a brilliant series. I mean, I watched nearly every single one. I don't know how many there were, but I watched something like 4 of them. So, yeah, I've still got the rest to watch. So I'll have to get back to watching that. Maybe I will watch the rest tonight. Who knows? But it was really good. You know, one of those kind of like, yeah, harmless fun. I'm not saying it was necessarily suitable for children. But, you know, there wasn't kind of bad language or anything like that. It was, you know, it was nice viewing. So, yeah, I would recommend that one, to be honest. Really, really enjoyed it. Like I say, I do still have some of it left to watch. So, I still don't know who did it, you know, because like I say, it was like an old-fashioned whodunit. But that's set in modern times. But, yeah, so I still haven't found out who was the murderer. But yeah, that was on the BBC iPlayer, The Magpie Murders. So if you're looking for anything, I would recommend it. It was very good. And that lady's good to watch, isn't she? I don't know what her name is, but she was in that Mrs. Harris Went to Paris. And yeah, I don't know whether she's kind of like, you know, quite new to like, you know, getting quite big roles. I hadn't really seen her. I don't feel like prior to Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, but that could just be that I hadn't seen her. Maybe she was in loads of stuff. Maybe just I hadn't seen her. But yeah, she's really good anyway. Really like her. Right, just checking now which one I'm going to go for on this. So let's put this one down in the background. I do feel like this is a bit narrow for there, but never mind. Yeah, so that's all that I've watched, really. I couldn't really tell you anything else. Oh, and I did watch a little tiny bit of that Eurovision Song Contest on Saturday night. I didn't watch much. I didn't even see, like, the, you know, the British entry. I don't think I've really watched it before, to be honest, or certainly not since I was perhaps a child. But it was on, and, yeah, I just watched it. I did see the winning song, which was I think it was Sweden, wasn't it, who won? She was quite, you know, quite fascinating to watch her. She was like mesmerising, I suppose would be the word. You know, had a mesmerising kind of quality. Now I can't decide which one to go for. I think I'm going to go for this one. Oh, I'm so sorry. I've now got a frog in my throat, so. Right, okay. Okie dokie. Put that one down there. And I'm just putting it off to the side like that. Okay. Right, just going to put my lace here across the top. Okay, like that, and yep, just trim that down there. Okay, and then this, I'm actually wondering whether we should have this lace. Oops, have I? I have glued that down, but I've put it down very wonky. I hadn't noticed until just now, but yeah. Oh well. It's not wanting to move, so I'll have to just leave it now, but okie dokie. So, and this is just my Fabri-Tac glue that I'm using for gluing these down, just in the absence of my hot glue. So yeah, right, there we go. And just going to see if we could have a bit of bling on here, just because I love to use the bling really. Okay, so yeah, maybe just a bit of bling there on that corner. Just, you know, gives it that little bit extra, doesn't it? I'm not saying it really needed. It's really needed, but I do love it. There we go. Oh, no, there we don't go. It's stuck on me, not on the piece. And that's another reason why I like to use the hot glue, because that doesn't generally happen. It just would be stuck on there. Okay, right, so let's just have a look. So if this were on a journal page, like I said, I mean, let's pull this in actually, which is neutral. It would be like that. So you'd glue it down on the 3 sides, side pocket there. I'm going to have to turn this over because the back is not plain, but, and that would be the other one. So you've got your pocket here, your journal space, and you'd have your side pocket there. I will just quickly show you here this side, but yeah, again, you've got your journal space there, your pocket there, and obviously, you know, you'd have glued it on 3 sides there, so you'd have your pocket in there. So yeah, really, really, really lovely, aren't they? And like I said, I actually think I like them best hooked over the top of the page, particularly because I've mucked up obviously my printing. And ended up with awful combinations of colours and papers together. But I really hope that you like them. And, you know, this, I guess, just goes to show how flexible and versatile that they are, because you could do them either over the top. You could, you know, change them about however you fancied. So a very flexible, versatile pocket. Yeah, so I hope that you like them. All I can do is apologise for my terrible, very flaky video. So yeah, I'm very, very sorry. But I hope that you've still had fun hanging out with me. And yeah, thank you so much. And I will see you in tomorrow's video. Thanks then. Bye.